Sounds like somebody's home. The text on the heart is clearer now. Legible. I knew it would be here, like I saw it in a dream.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. Killer left a message.
It's for us.
We were all trapped in a horror story. The horror story wanted us dead. There's something I'm forgetting. Something important. Something's not right!
Good to see you. Looking dapper as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we are so excited because when you announced Alan Wake at the Game, or Alan Wake 2 at the Game Awards, you said 2023. We are in 2023. It's coming this October, and we are so excited about this, Sam. I know it's been a long time coming for fans and for you. 13 years since the first Alan Wake. So tell us a bit about what can we expect in the sequel.
It's been quite a journey, yes.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2 is Remedy's first survival horror game. We have two playable characters. It's a 50-50 split between them. They are on their own separate terrifying journeys through two different worlds, and yet it's all connected. And the player gets to switch between them at given points in the story as they choose.
Yeah, we saw, obviously, at the PlayStation event, you revealed Saga, the second character. Tell us a bit about her. She's in Bright Falls, and she's sort of living a narrative that Alan has written. Is that right?
Well, that's a good question to ask going into this. So, yes, we have Alan Wake, our title character, of course, trying to escape from the nightmare dimension of the dark place.
Yes.
And then we have Saga, our new hero, FBI agent, coming to the Pacific Northwest small town of Bright Falls, together with her partner, Alex Casey.
Okay. So how, and they're somehow linked in some way, right?
They are coming to investigate
Yes.
a series of ritualistic murders.
Okay.
And very quickly, the investigation turns into a nightmare when they discover pages of a horror story. Maybe written by a certain missing writer.
By the initials AEW.
And this horror story starts to come true around them.
Interesting. So obviously, it's Alan is still going to be playable in the game. You're going to experience his journey, but Saga, this is sort of new character, and there is that sort of link. Tell us a bit about. You said split 50-50. Do they have separate missions? How? Because I think you can play them in sort of different sequences or orders if you want, right?
Yeah, we go into the experience playing as Saga,
Okay.
and it's a sequel, but it's also a standalone experience. We are not expecting everybody to do homework if they have not played the original game.
Yeah.
This can be enjoyed as is. Saga doesn't know anything about the lore, about the supernatural in this world. She will be going in very quickly. She has to learn to survive. And with that, all the players will be on that journey with her. And then we open up the experience so that you can hop to play Alan Wake in the dark place as he's trying to find his way out. And you can keep on playing as Saga in the Pacific Northwest as the investigation goes on. And you are free to switch between them. There are a lot of connection points in many surprising ways, but there is no right way to play through this. You can choose. You can go on as Alan all the way close to the end, or as Saga, or you can keep hopping between these two sides of it.
Well, you're always so good at kind of telling challenging, interesting narratives in unique ways. I mean, Remedy's always been known for that, and you especially, so we can't wait to see how these stories intertwine, I'm sure, throughout the experience. Today, though, I know you brought with you some gameplay of Saga's adventure. We're just going to see a raw segment of the game, right?
Yeah, raw gameplay for the first time ever. This is early on from the experience.
They're hyped, Sam. They're ready for it. So tell us, what are we going to see?
Supernatural forces of darkness have brought the murder victim, in this case, back to life as a monster. And Saga is outside Bright Falls at Cauldron Lake, trying to find him and stop him.
Peggy 18.
Alan Wake 2 is a psychological survival horror game, and the player takes on the role of two different hero characters. The titular character, Alan Wake.
This story is a monster.
And a new character, Saga Anderson.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson.
Alan Wake 2 has many twos in it. Two narratives. We are exploring two worlds. It's not just Alan Wake this time.
We have this theme of duality and echoes in Alan Wake 2, so we needed a counterpoint, like another perspective in the game that was a play off of Alan's, as well as having a character located in the Pacific Northwest, so we could have both of those worlds present in the game and playable for the players.
Even when we are not playing him, there are a lot of things that tie the story to him, and there are other ways how he is present in those moments as well.
The character of Saga, she's an FBI agent and relative newcomer to the Bright Falls area. She is a really capable investigator. She is a mom. She's a teller of bad puns. What's not to love?
She's enthusiastic about her job. She really enjoys what she does. But I think her most defining quality for me is her kindness. She's a very empathetic person, and she brings that into her work, and it makes her a better detective and profiler. These two different professions that are similar but different. The artist is looking for inspiration, the detective's looking for answers. You can see the parallel there, but there's different approaches to those things.
We're obviously quite aware that the first game came out 13 years ago, so we wanted to make sure that we had a hero character who would bring the perspective of new players. We wanted to make sure that new players into the experience would be learning with her through the story.
We wanted to make absolutely sure that we find the right actor for the role, and we were looking for quite a while for Saga.
Hi, I'm Melanie Liebird, and I'm playing Saga Anderson in Alan Wake 2. This is my first time working in this medium and doing a game. It's just nice to learn something new. The voiceover part of it can be very intense when you get in the booth, but I've learned so much.
All of us have been working with Melanie, and because of the writing process being ongoing, there are always new ideas and writing it more and more specifically to her as a role.
I'm excited for the world to see Saga because I think she's a brilliant role model. And just to see a woman in this role, a woman of colour being a protagonist in a game that we don't see that often, and just to have a lifestyle that she has, doing her best to balance work and a family, and I just think that's really relatable for a lot of people.
While, we wanted to create one cohesive experience, we wanted to give each kind of playable character and their world its own style and mood.
Something's not right!
In the setup for Saga's experience, she's investigating these ritualistic serial killings. When we were looking at, from a narrative and tone perspective, looking at things like True Detective, we actually have a lot of 90s references in terms of things like Seven.
The events that bring her to the Pacific Northwest are a series of murders, and they think there might be a serial killer somewhere lurking in the area.
Part of this experience taking place in Pacific Northwest is centered around our fictional small town of Bright Falls. This idyllic, slightly quirky small town that clearly then under the surface has shadows and darker things waiting and a mystery waiting.
In the first game, you didn't really get to explore the environments, but now you will be able to walk around the streets, discover the town a bit more, and revisit existing locations, like the diner, for example.
Quite a lot of research was done to prepare for this project. I spent several weeks reading research papers, gathering data on forest surveys, learning about key species of the area to properly do justice to the Pacific Northwest. The photogrammetry side of it means that we can actually scan trees on site ourselves. The trees that we're seeing in the game are literally the trees that are from this area in the Pacific Northwest.
Player will be going back to Cauldron Lake, which is obviously a key part of the story, be exploring all the forests that are around there. And because we kind of are more slightly open area based, so the player can freely explore, the player can kind of go back and revisit locations as part of their playthrough.
Saga Anderson, she's not just any FBI agent coming into this case. There are elements to this that very much tie to kind of who she really is and a journey, a mystery to be discovered there as well.
First things first. What's your name?
So where has Alan Wake been these 13 years? He went missing at the end of the first game. That is the question.